What's going on, y'all? It's Edge and welcome back to the channel. Today we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a different video. Today is going to be I'm going to be taking the Myers-Briggs personality test, which if any of y'all haven't taken it, I'm going to leave the link in the description for y'all to take it. It's an interesting test. It really kind of helps you to learn your personality and know you're not the only person out there who has these struggles, has this stuff. It helps you to know you're not insane. Helps me at least. So I've gotten my type results. I've taken the test a couple times before. I've gotten the same type every time. So really we're gonna see if I get the same type again. I don't you will find out later toward the video what it means and what the different letters mean and all this other stuff. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, definitely make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, you're about to learn about my personality. So let's just get straight into it. Let's begin with you regularly make new friends. A picture just fell. Is that a sign? Um. Ah. It's based on. I would be neutral on it because I can talk to somebody fairly easily, but I don't know if I can call them I can just make friends super easily, if that makes any sense. Like, I could strike up a conversation with someone really, really randomly, but I don't know if it'll end up like this. You spend a lot of free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. Um, I would definitely agree with that because if you think about the fact that I'm doing basketball videos and chai latte videos and all these it's really random. My content is random. For the most part, there's always been a basketball element because I love basketball. And then chai lattes. I did a video on chai lattes. I say I explore. When I go off on random topics, I very much I'm an explorer, that kind of type of go try new stuff out. Seeing other people cry can make you easily feel like you want to cry too. Semi agree. It's not I just, as soon as somebody starts crying, I just not really. I'm not really like that, but I might tear up if somebody starts crying. I might I feel for them, but I'm not just I lose it. Backup plan for a backup plan. No. Who does that? No. Well, I'm gonna hit almost disagree because I could see myself in a situation if we have something get canceled 2 days before, I could see myself being okay, let's make this new plan a couple days before. But if it's plan gets canceled, let's say I go to a baseball game and I can't go to that game. Okay, well that's fine. We can just go somewhere else. It's not a big deal. I won't just lose my mind if that baseball game got canceled or something like that. I'm usually still calm under that situation, if that makes any sense. Usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. I'm gonna stay in the middle for this because I've had a couple moments when I've kind of had an outburst, but then again, I for the most part stay calm. But yet again, it's in my head I'm not the most calm, but outwardly I keep it all to myself. So yeah, at social events you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people. Mostly, oh yes, all the way. I hate talking to strangers because I don't know them, and I much prefer to know people. It's not I can't talk to strangers. I do it all the time. Working at Subway, working at other different places, new college life. I talk to new people all the time, and I can talk to new people. I just prefer, my best friends. Come on. Who doesn't like doing that? Or when I have a connection to somebody already, I actually am pretty good with that. I've had a lot of connections recently from my school and whatnot of people that I knew of but never really knew in a deeper way. I just kind of would say hi and whatnot, so I've introduced myself to them and whatnot, but I never knew them on a deeper and personal level. Those are the best kinds for me. Those have been some of the best kind of relationships I've had in the last month. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. I don't care that much. Disagree on that because I hop from one thing to another. If it's a book, I get bored of a book, I'll put it down, I'll get to a new book. If I start to get bored of a project, I'll put it down for a little bit, I'll pick up something else. There are a couple of exceptions, so that's why I didn't put complete disagree, because there was an example of my drawings. If I've ever shown them on camera, I'm a really good at drawing. I could go get them right now, but y'all probably don't care that much. But I used to do a lot of drawing of a lot of different cities in Texas. Actually, it's my background banner right now. But yeah, I did a lot of different background drawings and whatnot, and those I was completely finishing and in a specific order because they had to be kind of in an order in that way. But 95% of the time I don't care, and I'd rather just it's what feels good in the moment. And if it's yeah, I don't want to stick to a schedule, that's dumb. I'm very sentimental. I'm slightly sentimental. I'm not very sentimental. I'll put it like there because I keep like stuff that's like affirmation notes and stuff like that. Like I've done that in the past before. Like I've still kept like letters that people sent me like that are like really like heartfelt. Like when I'm feeling down, that's what I go to. You know what I mean? And like it's stuff like that. Like I don't like if it's like a card or something like that. Like I'm usually I can throw it away if it wasn't anything like that's super like deep like meant a lot to me. I'm not gonna keep every single card ever unless it's like something really cool or whatnot. But for the most part, I'm not like the most sentimental person in the world, but I definitely can get sentimental over a few things like, you know, old games I used to play, like old video game save files. Like I keep a lot of that stuff because it's a lot of like memories and whatnot, and that's something I do cherish a lot. You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. I would put almost fully agree because sometimes I don't love to make those schedules and lists because you actually have to sit down and do like you have to plan out your day and whatnot. And whenever that schedule gets screwed up, you're kind of mad. But for the most part, yes, I like to have a to-do list. Schedules. That's why I didn't fully agree because I don't like having a hard and fast schedule that much. I don't roll that way. I'm more just like doing a to-do list and then knocking them all out. That's how I worked at Subway actually. If you didn't know that, we have our list of stuff we need to do every day and I always like knock out basically each thing. I'd always write down a to-do list. Nobody ever told me to do it that way, but it was the best way I could work because I knew what had to be done before we closed. So I'd have my to-do list, I'd scratch everything off, and then yeah, we'd be able to leave. That's how it went. So yeah, even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Oh, absolutely. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting or striving a conversation? Hmm. Define find interesting. Like, if I met somebody at, like, I don't know. That's such a, mm, that's a tough question. Like, I don't know if they're interesting yet because I haven't talked to them yet. You know what I mean? Walking up to someone you find, maybe it's saying, like, somebody you kind of already know, but you think they're cool. Like, somebody at your school, you've heard the good things about, you just, like, talk to them for a little bit. I've done that before. There's a couple of people in my school who I think are pretty interesting, and then I'll just go talk to them, even though I've not known them on like a super deep or personal level. Like I'll still talk to them because I'm like, hey, maybe I want to. I strike up a conversation. I can talk to a lot of different people, like a lot of different people. So I could say partially agree with that. You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analysis of creative works. Interpretations and analysis of creative works. I disagree with that because there's sometimes I loved whenever in school we had like discussions and whatnot because I honestly did like to hear everyone's perspectives on kind of what was read here and I actually took a class in high school that was basically based on it was a discussion based class. I love that class. Best friends ever. I'll just go ahead and mention that video in the video. Like I made the best friends like ever in my life in that class. I made some of the best memories were from that class. Some of the best just conversations I had with anyone were from that class because it was all like discussion based and it was all like there was like real authentic people who wanted to be there. Like it was good to see it and I really really enjoyed that class. But yeah, it was all about it was in a sense all about discussing creative works, specifically like theology related, but it was all creative works in a sense all of them were different books, different authors. I love discussing that kind of thing. So I mostly disagree on that. My only thing is like sometimes it can get like if you're not contributing a lot to discussion, like sometimes I just have an off day and I wasn't contributing a ton and I'm like, I'm not in that mood. So sometimes I'm not in that mood. But most of the time I'm always down for discussing creative works. It's really, really cool. More inclined to follow my head than my heart. Well, I'm neutral on that. I think I end up following my heart, but I want to follow my head because I know my head's the one that's in the right spot because my heart tends to say things that I'm like are irrational, sometimes don't even make much sense. Sometimes my feelings are rational, which is really weird. Not a lot of people have that. Like my feelings are rational and they make sense to me, but to a lot of other people they're like you're nuts. But oh well. You usually prefer doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of playing a particular daily routine. I'm gonna go neutral in this one because I think I prefer like, yes, I like spontaneity, and yes, I like being able to just kind of whatever feels nice in that moment. But I do like having a little bit of structure to the day because if I end up like what if I feel like watching YouTube all day because it's easier than walking down to the rec center, walking to campus to go get something, whatever it is, it's easier to do that. It's easier to just stay here instead of having my like sometimes I'll just have to set a routine, but for the most part I do prefer planning a I do prefer like whatever I feel like. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. I highly disagree. I always worry. I always worry, and I think about like what do they think of me? Do they think I was decent? Like all this stuff. I enjoy participating in group activities. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think I enjoy one-on-one a little more sometimes. So that's why I took one off because sometimes I can have some deep conversations one-on-one that you just can't get in a group setting. Besides that dual credit theology class, that's the like some of the greatest discussions I've had in a whole like group. Like I can actually have deep discussions with the group. That's really rare. Like I don't know, I have trouble finding like groups that actually want to talk about real stuff, and that was a group people from that class where they talk about real stuff, and that's good, in my opinion. You like books and movies that come with no. I'm not creative. I don't. I just no. Your happiness comes from more from helping others accomplish things through your own accomplishments. I have a little bit of a story about that. I have a friend who got a job at an ice cream shop. I really wanted that job. I'll be honest. But I felt really, really proud in the fact that okay, I'd gotten my high school transcripts back and I'd gotten pretty good grades and I had like gotten accepted into like honors college. There's a lot of like awards that came in and I was like, okay, I wasn't super super proud of myself because like I could have probably done better. I could have done more like this that. I'm self-critical, honestly. I am, but that's okay. I think but whenever I see that I just made an impact on somebody else being able to do something, somebody else's happiness. If I see somebody else was happy because of something I did, that's going to make me more happy than whatever the heck I just did for myself. So I'd actually put a big agree on that because yes, I think I actually get a lot of happiness from that. You're interested in something? No. I have a very low like interest. I've always been that way. I don't know why. It's not hard to choose what's next. I'm always down for trying something new, but I haven't tried that many things because I was very much a like as a younger kid I had a hard time with like trying new experiences and whatnot because I didn't like change and I didn't like things that were like just spontaneous. But now I don't know, I changed a lot and I really love just like exploring and seeing new stuff and it's so cool. Prone to worrying to think yes, I've always been that way. I don't know why. You avoid leadership roles in group settings. Yes. I don't like being the center of attention. I will put a little like I'll put a one less because sometimes I do end up needing to kind of like step in as a commander and just kind of like okay, we need to organize a little bit because it sometimes if something's a mess, sometimes you just have to step in. But for the most part, I much prefer being a follower because people don't listen to me and I recognize that. You're definitely not an artistic type of person. I'm gonna go neutral on that because I have art. My art style is very much copy the art drawing, and it's nothing super crazy. Do you think the world would be a better place if people relied more on it would be. It would be better if I think our leaders, if we have world leaders, we need them to rely on rationality and truly what's best for the country because a lot of people do end up running on feelings, and I don't know if that's the best thing in the world. So I really think rationality and really somebody who can think through all the steps of something is going to be ultimately a better leader. I'm not saying that somebody who has feelings can't do that job because we do need people who can empathize with those who are struggling, but ultimately I think rationality is going like there's this place for rationality in society and I think it is really really important that we need people who are rational thinkers who can think of the most like straightforward way to get through to this, think logistically, think in that sort of way, and just having feelings and whatnot. That like empathy is important, but it can only get you so far. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. Yeah, I should be better at this. Even as even as a college student, I tend to just I should do that, but I don't. You enjoy watching people argue. I'm in the middle. I don't. If you're arguing, I don't. That's your business. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. I'm actually gonna go middle on this too because sometimes I actually do love drawing attention to myself, but then there's more often than not. Okay, here's the thing. It's very dependent on who I'm around. If it's my own friends, I tend to draw attention a lot. If it's strangers, I tend to not draw attention. But do I tend to avoid drawing attention to myself? I don't think I tend to avoid it as much as like a lot of people do, so I'm just gonna put a tiny bit. Like, your mood can change very. I get stupid mood swings. I hate it. Like it's nuts. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient. No, I really don't. Like I can understand that people are on a different level than me sometimes. Sometimes people just need a little extra help, and that's okay, and I can provide that for them. Efficiency is not my biggest priority. As long as it gets done eventually, then we're good. You end up doing things a lot. Oh, I was a major procrastinator in high school. It's awful. Always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. I want to go disagree because it's not that I'm not fascinated by it. It's that I'm scared of it, so I don't want to think about it, so I don't think about it. Simple as that. And when I do end up thinking about it, I have nightmares about it, and it's just a whole mess. My brain's a mess, so no. You usually prefer to be around others than on your own. Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I really, when I'm on my own, sometimes I get kind of lonely pretty easily, and I prefer. But I do have a social battery limit, so like after about 4 or 5 hours, I'll need a little bit of a recharge, and then I can go back out and do social stuff again because then I'll get depressed if I'm there for too long. My brain's a mess again. So yeah, you become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Oh, I love theoretical discussions. Sometimes those are really, really cool. Like, it doesn't have to be all practical and have to be all right in front of you and have to be all like I talk about theoreticals all the time. I talk about scenarios that wouldn't really exist all the time because it's just kind of fascinating. So when it gets highly theoretical, no, I still think it's cool. You find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. I would actually agree a lot with this. I was surprised at how much I could empathize with people who struggled with stuff in a way that I didn't, especially working at Subway and like there were a couple I witnessed like there was an accident or something like that and I ended up meeting the person who got into this accident and that was an interesting time and I'm really glad I got to meet her and I could empathize with her and I was like I understand it. I could see, like, I can just see myself in the situation. Like, it's really, I didn't ever think I could do that because I've never been the most empathetic of people in the world, but I found out I'm actually fairly, I find it easy to empathize with someone who's different from me in that way. Because I start to understand, like, more about them. As I understand more about them, the more I can, like, put myself in their shoes, the more I can, like, empathize. Usually postpone final existence. I am so indecisive. I hate it. I always second guess. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just disagree. I if it's been long and exhausting, usually I don't need. Well, it's so tough to say because sometimes I really want to hang out with my friends. Been if it's exhausting because I was around no one, it's very circumstance based. So I'm gonna put that in the middle. You enjoy going to art museums. I want to enjoy it, but I don't. But I want to enjoy it. Like I sometimes like being super. I'm observant to an extent, and when I'm just kind of in an art museum, I love taking it. I don't love art museums in particular. I love like modern like architecture. Like finding intricate details in architecture is my jam. That's my bread and butter. But art museums, I don't. It depends on the art. If it was like realistic art or something like that, like I remember there was this realistic art section of an art museum I went to in third grade, and that was the coolest thing ever to me. I was like, whoa, that's realistic art. We had this book when I was younger of art that we had to like describe to our parents or something like that. It was part of our curriculum back when I was homeschooled, and we kind of went through it, and there were these beautiful pictures of I think it was of like there was like I think it was Jesus on the cross and stuff like that. Like it was a bunch of like more like religious images. There was I think there was a scene of the Last Supper and stuff like that. And I remember seeing the actual like when you had the there was like it was I want to say it was like something about like the timeline of art, like how art the evolution of art and how much better like the fact that they went from like this kind of like acrylics to like oil paints and like they used different kind of paints back then. And then when they got to oil paints, the like when you saw the oil painting of something like that, it looked real. Like there were some pictures in there that I was like, this looks like a photograph. It's so good. So sometimes, yeah, going to art museums is dang cool when you get stuff like that, and you're trying to understand like how. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. No, no, I actually think I'm pretty good at understanding what everyone's feeling because if I can find a rationality behind it, I'm pretty good at it. Like sometimes with some people it's tough to find the rationality, but you like 99% of the time I am always able to understand it. I like there's something I understand it. I don't know why I do, but I do. I just I kind of just get it. Even if it's a very different experience from anything I've had, I still like can put myself in their shoes and be like, yeah, I could see why that could be bad or, that type of thing. You like to have a to-do list for each day. Yes, yes, yes. I always have like a to-do list of things I need to get done for the day when I get the chance to make the to-do list. But I'm gonna put fully agree because I really do like having my to-do list. You really, I was feeling insecure. Avoid making phone calls. I remember I went to somewhere like in public today and I was just sitting there awkwardly and I was like, I'm super insecure. I hate this. I don't know. Avoid making phone calls. No. No, I'll always if I always have to ask before I call someone. I don't avoid it. I just don't like to bug somebody, so I have to ask them like, "Hey, can I call you?" But I never avoid phone calls. I'm always like I've talked to like three people on the phone just in today because I've been kind of bored in this just nothingness. Oh well. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. Yeah, yeah, there were a few friends I had where it was like they had such a different perspective on life and they just had different experiences and I was like, I don't understand this, but I really want to. So, and my brain's like always swimming with all sorts of random stuff. So, yeah, I actually do end up spending a lot of time trying to understand views that are different from my own. And your social, it's always me. Always, always, always me. I don't know why. It's because I get bored, probably. That's part of the reason. But I don't get scared of asking. There's no harm in asking, so might as well just ask away. I don't like being bored. I get bored easily. I ask. If your plans are interrupted, your top priorities get back on track as soon as possible. I'll disagree because and a little bit because sometimes I can get bugged by it. For the most part, if my plans get interrupted, it's not we have to get on track or something like that. I can then make some sort of like spontaneous decision and change it up, and I can just make plans on the spot. Like I don't I have a I'm pretty good at doing that. Like where it's just like okay, if we can't do this, fine, let's just go do this. Let's try this instead. That's okay. And like for example, I want to say like if my plans like there was a time I remember I bought this game for like a game night or something like I had in my house a couple weeks ago, and to be honest, nobody really liked the game, and everyone was like, "Let's just put it away." And in my head, I was like, "Oh dang, I did spend money on that." But ultimately, I wasn't killing myself over it. I was like, "Yeah, it's not going the best, so let's just put it up and try something else." Like I didn't. If I was like one of those people, like some people would be like, "Oh no, we're gonna play the game. I spent my money on this. We're gonna make this happen." But sometimes you're just like, you gotta take the L and move on. You are still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. Yeah, I was an awful little child. You really contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Hmm. Neutral, rarely. Hmm. I think I do a little bit. I think I do a little bit. Sometimes I'll be going through some stuff and I'll be like, wait, why the heck am I here? Like when it's like purpose stuff, like what's my purpose, what's my calling and whatnot. Because I've changed so much in the past 5 years that sometimes I get lost in who I am, and so therefore I'm just questioning like the meaning of life. Because I knew 5 years ago what I wanted to do with my life and all this stuff, and I was determined, and I was like, I knew exactly where I wanted to be, but now it's very much like I have a general idea, but I've changed so much, it's hard to know if I still want to do that, So, I mean, the meaning of life, I mean, I know the meaning of life, it's just living it out at this point. Like, it's my meaning of my life, not the meaning of life in general, but like my purpose, my calling, that sort of thing. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Sometimes, yeah. I let my emotions run wild. My mom has this thing that I do. She says I do this thing called word vomiting, where I just kind of will spill a whole bunch of stuff out of basically all my emotions and stuff like that. I'll spill it all out one time and then not say anything and then spill it all out again because that's how I operate. Yeah. So my emotions end up controlling me a lot, but they don't control me in the sense that I'll like lose my mind or something like that or something. It's all it's all over. It ends up all being over text. You take great care to not make people look bad even when it is completely their fault. Yes, because I'm a people pleaser and I don't like to see someone in a bad situation like that. Keep work style close for spontaneous. Yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. It's always spontaneous bursts of energy. It's always been like that. Like, yeah. My work style is definitely spontaneous bursts of energy. 100%. I remember at Subway I would have, and I called it my like my napping hour, where I'd be half asleep from like 6 to 7. I wouldn't actually be like napping, but I'd be moving a little slower with the sandwiches. I'd be like if I was on with sandwiches, I might be like off and on napping, doing the dishes, and then just like stopping, just like quickly, like just like oh, like I was never consistent, and then I'll all of a sudden at like 8, I'd like wake back up and then get everything done. It was a really weird work style, and it still is, but like I'm very much it's a spontaneous burst of energy. That ties hand in hand with procrastination. That goes hand in hand with procrastination for sure because I definitely do procrastinate. It's not good. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long. Yes, 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 because I'm not an optimist in any way. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. I don't know where I stand on that because I think I'd get lonely, but then again, sometimes I need to work on like on my sometimes I like working on my own because it's just me and I can just go in the pace that I want, but sometimes it's like I get lonely and I like the teamwork aspect. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep it in the middle. Pondering abstract philosophy. No! It's how you figure out your life, dang it. How else are we gonna figure out why we're here on this earth? I mean, yeah, God's gonna reveal stuff, but sometimes you gotta seek it out. You can't just like be passive about it. Abstract philosophical questions is our bread and butter as humans, at least in my opinion. Yeah, they're abstract, but yeah, that's the mysteries of life. You gotta figure them out. Gotta unpack them as best we can. You feel more drawn to places with busy, but yes, I remember. I mean, like I remember there was this day where I went to like the beach and then also went to the movies. I got to see Space Jam in theaters. That was a lot of fun. I ended up really enjoying that Space Jam thing. It was just like all bustling, like the atmosphere. Like I could see myself. Like both are great. So I'm gonna actually put it right there because I have some moments when I'm like I have this thing where we have this beach. It's close to my city that you can walk all the way down the beach and there's nobody. Like truly nobody. And that's like one of my favorite spots in the world because it's the one time I'm truly alone with my own thoughts. It's kind of surreal. But for the most part, yeah, I love busy, bustling atmospheres. It's so much fun. Just, you know, like I remember I took all my friends to Whataburger Field. Best time ever. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. Um, I don't. I don't. I'm not good at reading facial cues for some strange reason. I don't know why. You often feel overwhelmed. Yes, but I don't express it outwardly, so I'm not going to fully agree. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. I kind of jump around sometimes with different things whenever I'm trying to get something done. I never go in a straight line. Sometimes I'm very all over the place, so definitely mildly disagree. You were very intrigued by things labeled as yes. I think it's cool because that's like it's controversy is kind of cool sometimes. Like because there's so many different sides to it, and you can like debate that kind of top. Debates can be fun sometimes. I like it. It's intriguing. It's intriguing as to why it's controversial. Like some things, there's like political stuff that's intriguing to me. Like why is that so controversial? It seems pretty straightforward, but then you see the one side of it, and you're like, oh wait, I understand this side too, and I'm like, oh no, it's not that straightforward. That's why it's controversial. This is interesting. I love that stuff. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it. I did do that. The ice cream shop, I let my friend get that job, and I could have had it. I thought she needed it at the time, and she did need it, and it helped her out a lot, even though she was stressed out as heck from the job. It did help her get money for college, so I'll take it. And I had my job still at Subway, so it was a win-win. You struggle with deadlines. Yes, because I forget to do stuff, and because I just don't. I procrastinate. You feel confident things will work out for you. I'm not the most. I'm not pessimistic completely. I'm not like, oh, everything's gonna be awful. Because up to this point, things have been pretty good in life so far. But I've seen moments where I've had like doubt and desolation. So I'm gonna go with the middle. Now let's see what we got. This is a new type. This is a new type, y'all. Every time I've taken this test, I've gotten ESFP. This is the first time I've taken this test and I've gotten ENFP. So that means we're going to go through it. So I'm 59% extroverted, 41% introverted, which is about what I thought. I kind of always thought I was more extroverted. So, I mean, this makes sense. And I think with the camera going and with the fact that I kind of had commentary running, I think this is the most accurate of all the tests I've taken because sometimes I'd be speed running through this test and I'm not really reading the questions fully and I always get ESFP and I'm always like, wait, really? I don't want the drunk uncle persona. I don't like this. So this time I feel like this was the most careful and thought out of all the tests I've ever taken, so I'm not surprised by this at all. I'm 56% intuitive, 44% observant. It's close. I'm telling you, I'm observant, but I still do. I observe stuff and then I get super in my own head about it. So I see where the N kind of comes in as ENFP. 59% extroverted, 41%. That makes sense. I'm definitely a little more extroverted than introverted, but I do have my moments where I'm like, yeah, I just need to chill out from people. 72% prospecting, 28% judging. Yet again, I'm not super strict on schedules. I'm not super like deadlines aren't the biggest thing to me, and like I'm not. I'm really just. I'm very much a go with the flow type of person. I never used to be, but I adapted to my environment. I guess I was scared by how I was when I was younger, and I changed it. And nature, so I'm 37% thinking and 63% feeling, which I can see because I definitely, my feelings are rational in a sense, but I do have a lot of feelings that sometimes I'm like, whoa, what the heck does that mean? But yeah, 56% intuitive though. That's still kind of surprising to me because I've always been told, like, sometimes not, I don't see 88% turbulent. Y'all know I'm not assertive in any way, shape, or form. So, campaigners, ENFPs, are true free spirits, outgoing, open-hearted, and open-minded. With their lively, upbeat approach to life, they stand out in any crowd. But even though they can be the life of the party, campaigners don't just care about having a good time. These personality types run deep as long as they're longing for meaningful emotional connections with other people. Yeah, the magic of everyday life. Friendly and outgoing, campaigners are devoted to enriching their relationships when they're socialized. Beneath their sociable, easygoing exteriors, they have rich, vibrant inner lives as well. Yeah. Without a healthy dose of imagination, creativity, and curiosity, a campaigner simply wouldn't be a campaigner. I don't know if I'm the most creative in the world. I think I have some creativity in me. Like, I'll just sometimes just pop off of Minecraft, you know? Like, something creative. Imagination. I have more of an imagination than people think. My brother has no imagination. It's the craziest thing. Curiosity. I'm very, very curious. Oh my gosh, I sometimes just can't stop myself. In their unique way, campaigners can be quite introspective. I'm introspective and nobody believes it because I'm so blah. They can't help but ponder the deeper meaning and significance of life, even when they should be paying attention to something else. That's me. Yeah, I think about like I think about the deeper meaning of everything when I should be thinking about what's my next school assignment. Like, these personalities believe that everything and everyone is connected, and they live for the glimmers of insight that they can gain into these connections. Interesting. Independent and creative, always on the lookout for magic and meaning in everyday life. When something sparks their imagination, campaigners show an enthusiasm that is nothing short of infectious. Yes, very true about me. These personalities radiate a positive energy that draws in other people, and campaigners may find themselves being held up by their peers as a leader or guru. Hmm. But once the initial bloom of inspiration wears off, campaigners can struggle with self-discipline and consistency. Yes, losing steam on projects that once meant so much to them. That is very true for me. And I had like a game I worked on when I was a little kid. I had my art projects, which I didn't. It took me 5 months to finish this one drawing because I got discouraged and I didn't want to end up doing that because it's a lot of work. But I'm always like working on projects and working on something creative because I have creative outlets and I always need a creative outlet to keep myself going. Sometimes my creative outlets are like I like the they're unique. They're unique. I'll say that. Seeking joy. Campaigners are proof that seeking out life's joys and pleasures isn't the same as being shallow. True. Seemingly in the blink of an eye, people with this personality type can transform from impassioned idealists to carefree figures on the dance floor. Yep. That's yeah. I'd be doing all these like debates and whatnot, and then the next moment I'm just like I'm going crazy. Campaigners have intense thought and feeling, and also kicking back and having a good time. That's pretty accurate. Yeah. I think the campaigner type is more accurate than the entertainer type, in my opinion. Even in moments of fun, campaigners want to connect emotionally with others. Few things matter more to this personality types than having genuine, heartfelt conversations with people they cherish. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Like I never, yes. That that is the literally it, my happiest moments in life are the ones where I've had like a deep conversation with someone. That's why I'm always trying to like talk to people because I love deep conversations. I swear. Campaigners believe that everyone deserves to express their feelings. Yes, please don't hide them all. And their empathy and warmth create spaces where even the most timid spirits can feel comfortable opening up. I try. I try to be. I really do try to be understanding, and I'm like always here to help someone, but nobody takes me up on it. But it's fine. People with this personality type need to be careful, however. Ooh, campaigners' intuition may lead them to read too far much into people's actions. It served me well. My intuition, I think it was inferior for the ESFP one, but my intuition because it's not the strongest because obviously it's 56%, not like it's dominant a little bit, but it's not like it's dominant because I'm also still definitely a sensing person, but like my intuitiveness can lead me too far and I'll get too deep into something and I'll be like I'll read too far into something and then I'll be wrong and I'll be like why was I wrong? And I'll be all confused. Campaigners may have publishing over someone else's desires or intentions. Yeah, I do that a lot. This kind of social stress what keeps I'm like that. Yes, I don't understand. Sometimes I don't understand when people have made like a decision and then I'm like, "Why did you make this decision?" And it does keep me up at night because I'm so freaking stressed about it. That's the only thing on my mind. Campaigners will spend a lot of time exploring different relationships, feelings, and ideas before they find a path for their lives that feels right. When they finally do find their way, their imagination, empathy, and courage can light up not only their own lives but also the world around them. Yes, I will explore until I find what's right. I may change my major 5 different times in college. Strengths and weaknesses. So actually in a little bit I will explain the letters. Strengths. Curious. Yes, true. Perceptive. I'd agree with that. I pick up on these little tiny things that people be doing and everyone's like, you did pick up on that. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not crazy. I think of myself as completely crazy because I am kind of a sensor, but also an intuitor. But like, I see it, but then I dismiss it. Enthusiastic. When I'm around the right people, yup. Excellent communicators. think so. I've gotten better at it. Festive. Ooh. I mean, yeah. I love Christmas. Festive, and I don't think it means Christmas, but I like Christmas too. Being spontaneous and lighthearted. I'm definitely, yeah. And then good natured. Aw, that's nice. People please. This is really accurate, actually. I am very much a people pleaser. Most campaigners are uncomfortable with the prospect of being disliked. Yes! To maintain the peace, they may compromise on things that matter to them or allow people to treat them poorly. And when they fail to win someone over, they might lose sleep trying to figure out what to do about it. Yeah, it's true. Unfocused. Yep, that. Disorganized. This hurts. Overly accommodating. Yeah. Sometimes I just let someone take advantage of me because I like just I don't like being assertive. I don't. I hate it. I don't like saying no to people. I really don't. Overly optimistic. That's a little. That's the one where I'm like, eh. Sometimes I play off. Sometimes I play off like my pessimism and try to look to optimism, but then I do get overly optimistic. But most of the time, I'm overly pessimistic. Restless. Dang. That's true. And that's deep. There's something missing. I always feel like there's something missing. What does it say? Is hard to overstate how much ENFPs care about love. This is a passionate, warm, open-hearted personality type, one that burns with hope, dreams, ideas, and experiences. Campaigners bring every ounce of this vibrant energy to their romantic relationships. Yeah? Many campaigners harbor a deep longing to share their lives with another person. As a result, these personalities may feel a bit empty or uninspired when they're single. Oof! While their dedication to relationships is admirable, campaigners may need to guard against investing too much of their sense of self in a relationship status. Oof! Sorry, y'all. I'm good. Fan the flames. When campaigners are interested in someone, they rarely hold back. People with this personality type, well, yeah. All this is very true. Just scroll through that. It's true. I don't like it because it's revealing too much, man. It's revealing too much. I don't like it. It's too accurate. I don't like it. They fall in love easily and they fall hard. Campaigners shower their new flame with affection, trust, and the devotion and passion they feel are real. Aye. Optimism is hard. They're undaunted by practical challenges and inconveniences. Can I just skip this? I want to skip this. It hurts because it's really true. Oh, I. This hurts because it's true. This hurts because it's true. Ouch. Friendships. Let's get to friendships. Okay, that's the relationships part. I didn't like that. As friends, ENFPs are cheerful and supportive. They're nearly always up for a little lighthearted banter, a deep. I am. I love a little I'll get a little debate, but I'll also get a super deep discussion. Yes, that's me. Generous and giving, campaigners have much to offer in the realm of friendship. At times, however, they may struggle with the suspicion to care more about their friends than their friends. Yes! Oh my goodness! This is scary accurate. Feel these sociable warm out. Yeah! Sometimes I think I feel like I'm putting all the effort into the friendship here. Dang! The adventure friendship. Campaigners on how to transform even the most ordinary moments into a special occasion. And for these personalities, nearly any opportunity to spend time with friends is a special occasion. Campaigners cherish their friends, and they'd hate to take a single moment together for granted. As you might expect, campaigners' sociable energy can be a magnet for other outgoing personality types, but their warmth and sincerity draws all sorts of people. I swear the quiet people be talking to me too. The quiet people be talking to me too. Campaigners be afraid to draw to befriend people who are relatively shy or reserved. That too, I do that too, apparently. Attracted to depth and nuance, people with personality type, and gratifying to watch someone gradually open up and reveal their innermost thoughts and feelings. Actually, yeah, that too. This is scary because it's really accurate. With a unique combination of sensitivity and enthusiasm, campaigners can help quieter friends feel understood and accepted and not alone exhilarated. Do I actually mean something to people? My quiet friends, I'm sorry if I ever if I ever doubted anything or if y'all actually feel that way, that's great. You don't have to say it, but if that's true, that's great. Thanks, y'all. in too deep. From the outside, it might feel that messing the friendship comes too easily to personality times, and to an extent, it does. It does sometimes. Like, oh, be like, you like this too, I like this too. We're gonna be besties now. Let's go. That doesn't mean campaigners always experience the deep, meaningful relationships they long for. Some people just don't want to be opened up emotionally into campaigners the way that campaigners. Oh, that's true. Oh, it does kind of grind my gears when I'm like pouring out my like emotional baggage and then you don't give me anything in return. Yeah. Then I'm like, I'm pouring everything into this. Close eye on judgmental in ways that don't match their values. To campaigners, this can sometimes seem as if the rest of the world were satisfied with their superficial, casual relationships. Yeah, yeah. I don't even like. Dang, this is crazy accurate. Oh my gosh, this is better than the ESFP one. I thought that one was accurate. In these moments, they can't help but wonder whether their deep longing for human connection is just too much for other people to handle. Dang, that's deep. Even the idealist campaigners might find it difficult to accept that they can't befriend everyone. I'm starting. Yeah, it's a struggle. Campaigners' idealism can also cause issues within their close friendships. Oh, oof. Going to great lengths to be caring and oh, I do that. And then they don't want to accept it. And then I'm like, but you have to. But I'm not like, I don't force them on them, but I'm like, you need to just for my sanity. But at times, campaigners can give so much to their friendships that they can't meet their own. Yep, I do that. And then I put all my emotional stuff into it. Use of friends, sort of, yeah. Carries emotional sensitivity enables them to respond not only to their friends' needs but also their own. Once campaigners learn to balance their desires to help others with their need to stay true to themselves, they can bring the full strength of their empathy, curiosity, and joy to their friendships. And the adventure that campaigners share with their friends are the stuff that a good life is made of. Parenthood. This I'm curious about. For campaigners, one of the great joys of parenthood is sharing the sense of wonder and inspiration with their children. Few things feel more rewarding to a campaigner parent than seeing their child light up with curiosity about the world around them. I'd agree with that. Curiosity is when I see a kid just like they want to learn all this stuff. I just want to see them take it all. I just want to see them all take in all the world. Like that's I love it. Parents with this personality type want their children to feel accepted and worthy. Just as yes, I could see that. This is interesting. I could see it. Like I could see myself being a parent in this way too. Like oh my gosh, this is too revealing. I've gone too far, y'all. Should I even upload this video? I don't even know anymore. Rather than pressuring the children to look act in a certain way, trying on their own ingenuity and creativity, these parents guide their children to discover and embrace their unique passions and interests. Most campaigner parents know the value and structure of unpredictability. That said, they might not have the heart for to enforce rules and I struggle with that because then they don't obey and I get discouraged and I'm like I don't like you being sad, so I'm like that when I babysit too. When I used to do babysitting a long time ago, like I was like that. I was too scared to say no. I've always been that way. I'm a people pleaser. In a way that's loving but firm. Okay, that's interesting actually. Came here to discover that having just enough structure that can actually help to yeah, okay. That's interesting. And like if you'll have the structure and you'll finally find a way to you'll find just enough balance because you recognize that the kids need that to thrive, and if they don't have that sort of structure and expectations and rules, then they're not going to thrive, and it's based on a love for them that you do that. So I could see that. Yeah. Your radiant acceptance and compassion, they can be about open up without fear of judgment. People with this personality type excel at creating safe spaces where their children can feel comfortable talking about their frustrations and fears, or their deepest hopes and dreams. Go on, spread your wings. Throughout their children's lives, parents provide a combination of always overwhelming love and support. But as children mature into adolescence, they naturally feel drawn to establish their independence. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, yeah, I've actually thought about this a little bit. Like, if I ever have a kid that becomes like a teenager and does not want anything to do with me, and then I might take it personally, even though I've done the same kind of thing with my own parents and have wanted that independence, and I know that my parents are, it's tough to wrestle with because you don't want to take that personally, but like now I'm like, dang, I get it now. Like, dang. Career path. Maybe I could fly helicopters and be an oceanographer, write songs and cooks. Having a wealth of ideas, interests, and hobbies to the extent they may struggle to fit everything they care about into their lives. I mean, I could see it. I could just try everything. I don't know. It's so surprising that choosing a career path can make people feeling overwhelmed or scattered. They may feel pulled in different directions, uncertain of how to honor their passion and keep their options open. I think I have all my options are in the same field, but there's like a lot of different ones, like architectural. I mean, I'm doing environmental engineering, but to work on like hopefully on solar panels and wind turbines and whatnot. But right now, like that could change very quickly. The good news campaigners can use their boundless curiosity and imagination. Hold on, we're still recording, right? Wow. Campaigners can use their boundless curiosity and imagination to propel themselves forward in nearly any profession, including the workplace. With the right mindset, these personalities can find pleasure and gratification in nearly any job. They may even welcome the challenge of breaking through a grumpy coworker's shell and making harried customers smile or boosting the morale of a less than cheerful workplace. Yeah, I mean, I can find pleasure and gratification nearly. I did that with Subway in a sense. Some days I didn't feel up to Subway, but there were some days where I could find some like I was enjoying the sandwich making. I was vibing. I was enjoying life. Like I could see it. These first times kind of weird that doesn't allow them to use and improve their people skills. Campaigners also tend to be most motivated in careers that offer learning opportunities and room for creativity, including the opportunity to experiment with side projects that catch their interest. Yes. Oh my gosh, I want to try something like new all the time and then be able to experiment. Like, yeah, I'm down for that all day. These explains many campaigners have found careers in nonprofits, public service, counseling, education. I've thought about counseling, but I tend to talk and not listen, and I need to work on that. So, customer public relations, hospitality, media and entertainment, and the service industry. That's interesting. Entertainment, yeah, that'd be cool. Jobs in social media and communications can be an excellent fit for them as well, allowing them to balance creativity with a sense of human connection. Be an influencer, guys. Campaigners may also gravitate towards scientific and technical fields where I've also back. Environmental science, there's my field, and I said it, and I said it was something like, I'm not crazy, and I think it's important. There we go. I think I keep on hitting my desk. It's okay. Letting creativity prevail. For people whose personalities have few things are as demoralizing as a job where every day is yes, yes, yes. I hate too much routine. Gets so annoying. It's not like too much routine, but when that routine is the same exact thing every single day, it turns into mush. Like that's what I did. Like I kind of dreaded school in a sense sometimes because it'd be like I'd wake up and I'd go to that same first period class every day, second period class. Like it was the same thing. It was repetitive. I like something new. I get disheartened. I lose steam in work environments that they rely on strict regimentation and hierarchy. Yeah, I like it's. I can see that being tough. Love to ask questions. To maintain motivation, they need to feel as if they're pushing boundaries and exploring new ideas. Any job that expects them to keep quiet and follow protocols, effectively turning into two of the commander's greatest strengths and liabilities. Empathy, these personalities can turn each workday into an opportunity to learn something new. It's interesting. Workplace habits. More creative, inspiring, and caring, no matter where they are on the career ladder. Brain to hire a CEO feel happiness when they have the time and freedom to explore new ideas. And if they can explore those ideas along with other people who share that excitement, well, that's even better. Some personality types are sticklers for workplace hierarchies, but campaigners see all their colleagues as equals. Sure, they may want to impress their boss, but chances are they want to make a good impression on everyone else's. Yes, I was always at work. It was like I wanted to be friends with everyone at work, even the boss, of course. But I was like friends with the manager and like all the other work. I treated everyone the same, which I don't know if that was the best thing. I obviously treated the boss a little differently, because he's the boss. But like I saw everyone as equals. Campaigners wanted to they also impress their manager with their creativity and adaptability. Yeah, adaptability. Yeah, I can change with the situation. People with this personality type are happy to experiment with new ways of doing things and to change course when necessary. They also stand out as excellent listeners, always eager to consider other people's perspectives. Yes, I do that too. It's not because I'm a people pleaser. It's because I think sometimes my ideas are just wrong, and I'm like, maybe you have. I bet you have a better way to figure this out. Go, tell me. Like any personality types, campaigners and subordinates have their pet peeves. Yes, it grinds my gears when somebody micromanages everything. Campaigners care about doing a good job, and they often feel that they do their best work and they can move at their own pace and do things at their own style. Sometimes I just work things spontaneously, and I have my good hours and my bad hours. And if you can respect that, and if I can do my job, that's all I need. Constant nitpicking from the boss can be seriously stressful. Yes, if you tell me I put $9 on a sandwich, I'm gonna kick you. Well, not really, but I want to. That said, many people with this personality type do benefit from some sort of direct management and oversight. Mirrors are notorious for skipping ahead to a new project before they complete the last one. Yeah, they love exploring new endeavors, but once a project's allure begins to fade, they may find it difficult to stay motivated. In this spirit, campaigners may find it helps if you check-ins from their bosses as accountability and encouragement. In other words, teamwork rather than micromanagement. I would agree with that assessment about myself. I'd much prefer somebody coming and checking in and giving me the support I need, giving me ideas, and helping me to sustain myself instead of just being like, let me fix everything that you did wrong here. I don't like that. Campaigners are the people they work with, not just as coworkers, but as friends. I do. I know. I do that. I told you. I make friends with my coworkers. People with this personality type take a genuine interest in their colleagues, curious about what makes them tick. Campaigners can be counted on to provide cheer and support whenever one of their coworkers is down or stressed. I do that. There's a bunch of coworkers I work with at Subway, and I was always the, like, I'll step in if you need help. I was in search for the win-win solutions to any problem. They don't want to succeed at other people's expense, and they really put it on a colleague to make themselves look good. Instead, they give credit where it's due and lavish praise on anyone who does a good job. Group brainstorms are their forte. Indeed, they are. Campaigners listen to other people's viewpoints and suggestions, not just with tolerance, but also genuine excitement. I love to hear other people's ideas, and nobody thinks I do. I mean, yes, my own ideas are cool sometimes, but sometimes I'm just wrong. Put me in my place, please. Their ability to relax and have fun will always make these personalities popular around the water cooler. What sets campaigners apart is how they transform their popularity and natural leadership and southern colors band together in teams and collaborate together to reach their goals. Ooh, managers. They don't talk down to the people who work for them. I have no idea how I am as a manager. I don't think I talk down to people. I've sometimes been unofficial night shift manager for Subway, so I've kind of like been the boss temporarily. And I don't boss people around. I'm just like, if you can do this for me, that'll really help me out so that I can end up doing this. You know, I make suggestions, and then I'm like, well, if you don't want to do this, well, we can swap this. I pitch an idea, let them pitch an idea. Like, I'm very much willing to hear the other side of whatever somebody says. Yeah, there's by example, rather than shouting orders from behind their desks. Folks in the big picture, letting their employees use their own judgment when it comes to handling details. Yeah, I'd say that. In the absence of clear order, some employees feel that they're expected to breed campaigners' minds, and some teams needing strict deadlines and timetables in order to succeed in their projects. Yes, I can see that. Some people do just, it's not consistent, and I understand that. Yeah, there's a level of consistency that some people do need. I understand that. For campaigner personality types, it can be especially difficult to reprimand or fire employees, even those who deserve it. I could see myself as a manager having a tough time just firing someone. I don't like saying no. Let's set boundaries and expectations of campaigner bosses may end up disappointed or even taking advantage of the people who work for them. Fortunately, these personalities have the sensitivity and insight to recognize when their team needs more structure or discipline in order to thrive. And while it may not be easy, campaigners can use their communication skills and empathy to handle even the most challenging workplace situations in a way that is kind of fair. Creative and charismatic. Somebody said I was charismatic the other day. I was like, dang, thanks. Known for their idealism and enthusiasm, these personalities excel at dealing with unexpected challenges and brightening the lives of those around them. Yet campaigners can be tripped in some areas. When it comes to building relationships, choosing a career, oof. Or turning their vision into a reality, people with this personality type may consciously address their weaknesses and gain new skills, even as they draw on many of their strengths. I do think there's some weaknesses in me, like just generally I get kind of down on myself when there's just certain times I get down on myself and I doubt the decisions I've made, and I don't know if that serves me well. Secret life campaigners. Y'all, read the sentence. You may have muttered to yourself, wow, this is so accurate, it's a little creepy. Didn't I say those words? You may have even asked, how do they know more about me than the people I'm closest to? I know I said that. Moving forward. Okay, that's it. I don't have no premium profile. So, I am an ENFP. We know that now. I was ESFP. Now I'm apparently ENFP, and I always thought I was ENFP, but I was never like I knew I was one or like I was on the borderline because like every time I've taken it I've gotten like 50-50, but this time I just got barely more intuitive, which I always thought like I definitely do like having discussions and debates, so I feel like I have to be intuitive, right? I'm also like good at recognizing patterns and whatnot. It's a thing with my brain. Like I'm good at recognizing like patterns and things, and that's definitely an intuitive thing and not a sensing thing. Yeah, it's weird. 59% extroverted, so an E or an I is what that would be standing for. Intuitive is an N, and then observant is an S. So observant was what I had before. I had more observant, but now I have more intuitive. And then thinking and feeling, I had 63% feeling and 37% thinking. That sounds about right. 72% prospecting. So this would be an F or a T, and this would be a P or a J. So prospecting, and then the T, that's not actually part of Myers-Briggs, that's just part of this website. But yeah, anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video and this little insight into me, definitely make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Yeah, do all that if y'all ever get the chance. Comment down below what's your type, because that's cool. Go take the test for yourself. I'll leave it in the description. I really, really do want to know y'all's types, so definitely leave them in the description of this video because I want to know your types. Because I'm very much one of those people who's like super kind of, I'm not addicted to the test, but I think it's intriguing and I try to guess people's types. I don't know, I do that. Yeah, anyway, if y'all enjoyed the video, definitely make sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye.